Dear students, in this video we shall read the difference between European painting and an Asian painting. Now let us read. A classical Chinese landscape is not meant to reproduce an actual view as would a Western figurative painting. The narrator here describes that a classical Chinese landscape does not mean to reproduce an actual view. A classical Chinese landscape does not produce an actual view as would a Western figurative painting. But on the other hand, a Western figurative painting, a Western painting that is made in Europe, it shows the real view. Whereas the European painter wants you to borrow his eyes and look at a particular landscape exactly as he saw it from a specific angle, the Chinese painter does not choose a single viewpoint. The narrator here describes that a Chinese painter wants the viewer to borrow his eyes to see the painting as he himself had seen it, to see the painting from a particular viewpoint, but the Chinese painter does not do so. The Chinese painter does not choose any single viewpoint. His landscape is not a real one, and you can enter it from any point, then travel in it. The artist creates a path for your eyes to travel up and down, then back again. The narrator here describes that the Chinese painter makes such a landscape. His landscape is not a real one. The Chinese painter makes landscape, but the landscape is not a real one. And one can enter in this landscape from any point and then you can travel in it. Here you can travel in it means with your eyes you can know, with your thoughts you can enter in it, you can think of it, you can admire it, you can know about it. The artist creates a path for our eyes. The artist, the Chinese artist, creates a path, creates a way for our eyes to travel up and down and ahead and back and then back again in a leisurely movement. This is even more true in the case of the horizontal scroll. The narrator here describes that this statement is more true when it comes to the horizontal scroll, in which the action of slowly opening one section of the painting, then rolling it up to move on to the other. In the horizontal scroll, one action is made opening one section of the painting and then after viewing at it, it is rolled up to move on to the other painting and it adds dimension of time which is unknown in any other form of painting. The narrator here describes that this way adds a dimension in time and it cannot be known in any other form of painting. It can be known only in the Chinese form of painting. It also requires the active participation of the viewer who decides at what pace he will travel through the painting. This painting needs the active participation. The person who is viewing is needed to participate actively, who decides at what pace he will travel through the painting, and now how he will travel, it will be decided by the painter, it will be decided by the painting, how the viewer had to move in it. A participation which is physical as well as mental. The participation is not only mental or not only physical, it is both physical and mental. The viewer, the person who is viewing the art, has to make his participation physical and mental both. The Chinese painter does not want you to borrow his eyes, he wants you to enter his mind. The landscape is an inner one, a spiritual and conceptual space. The narrator here describes that the Chinese painter does not want to borrow his eyes like the European painter. The European painter wants you to see the painting as he himself had glanced at it, and you should also view it from a particular viewpoint, but the Chinese painter does not make any such condition. He does not want to borrow his eyes like the European painter, and the Chinese painting, the landscape of Chinese art is an inner one. It is spiritual and conceptual space. Dear students, remaining in the next video.